Prepare to attack.
Follow me to glory!
F it up!
Heroes never die.
I am ready to unleash the dragon.
Time for a new adventure!
You are listening to Choke Point.
Open core!
An Overwatch podcast.
Recorded live before a streaming audience.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
Choke Point, Episode 5, recorded on August 17th, 2016. I'm Brent Copeland. No one.
Octane's next.
I don't know what order we're going in.
Look, it's RP.
RP Gamer 99.
Octane.
I'm OctanePro.
I'm Freckles!
By a process of elimination there, we got everybody. And exciting announcement, Octane's going to be like a new host. So now we've replaced Aleph. You're dead to us. We love you. But now you're replaced. So now, Patrick, you're going to have to go buy a console and get us all the console scoop.
No.
Oh well. I tried.
My friends will tell you I buy a console and I play it for like 2 weeks and then I put it over there, right there, and it sits and it doesn't do anything. And then a year later, I'm like, I'm selling it. And then I sell it, and then a year later, I'm like, I need a console again, and it's a terrible process. So
it's a great Netflix box, though.
Yeah, I know, right? I got Chromecast. We're good. Who needs that?
Oh, that's yeah. I use Netflix in here on it. So anyway, we've got a awesome show for you today. It's filled with a bunch of anticipation. See what I did there? And there's a bunch of stuff coming in the game, and we're going to talk about that stuff. And before we do, let's go ahead and see how everybody's doing this week. Let's start with Freckles.
I played a lot this week. Well, Saturday was my birthday, and all I wanted to do is play video games, so that's all I did.
Happy birthday.
Perfect birthday. Yeah.
Happy birthday to... Oh. Okay.
So I got up to level 190, and my goal is to hit 200 and then some before the summer games are over, because I want to get all the summer game things. And I got this past week, I got the two things that I wanted the most out of the summer games boxes, which was Junkrat's highlight intro.
Nice.
When I was doing the shot put, and Mercy's Switzerland skin. I got both of those, so I'm a happy camper.
So do you think it was because your birthday they gave this to you? They just knew.
Yeah.
They read your brain.
Yeah, of course.
Well, that's cool. How about you, RP? What'd you do this week?
I didn't play a lot of Overwatch, but what I did play, I played Genji preparing for today, but it's going to be next week's Heroes.
That's right. We're going to do Genji next week. And Octane, how about you?
I didn't play a lot over the weekend. I was away over the weekend, but got a little bit of Overwatch in yesterday and a little bit in today. And I'm sad Season 1's gone, so I can't play Ranked because that's what I default to. But got a decent amount of quick play in today, so it was fun.
So, and we'll be without Ranked for 2 weeks? Is that... Do we know for sure?
It's kind of to be determined. They haven't really set an exact date. End of August, beginning of September. It's kind of the 2 to 3 week gap between seasons is what they're saying.
And I know originally they said 2.5 months per season.
Correct, yeah.
So, I mean, I'm assuming that would give us 2 weeks off, right?
Correct, yeah. It looks like there'll be a kind of hiatus, and then they'll kind of start back up. So I don't know what I'm going to do with myself other than, unfortunately, queue with
Just slum it quick play with the rest of us.
Slum it random quick play.
It looks like it's time for Lucio Ball.
Yeah, so I logged in tonight and I was like, oh, a little Season 1 rewards that comes up, and I was like, all right, let's get right into Season 2. And then I was like, oh yeah, there's no ranked available, so quick play it is.
Oh, sad. I guess you could go to the PTR, try the new ranked there or something.
Yeah.
Which there's a lot of cool changes that we'll talk about later for that. And I kind of feel like this week just flew by. Like I was like, what did I even play this week? And I know I played. We've played a few nights. And just played right before the thing. But I can't really, nothing really stands out except for they forced me to play Genji tonight, and I suck at Genji. I don't know. You get 5 kills as Genji in a game, and you're like, yeah, probably shouldn't play Genji much for the team if they want. I kept trying to like reflect this stuff, and I'm like, it's not working on the Sentry. Like, apparently it only works on Bastion really well. At least that's how I get killed, is Bastion a lot. So we'll talk about that next week. And before that, let's do this.
News and discussion.
News. And we got a lot of news this week. We have a new map. The video for a map off the Facebook. Everybody's watched it, I'm sure. Eichenwald.
I think
that's what we agreed on.
Reinhart.
The Oak Forest or something. The Oaken Forest in the silent surroundings. Some things like that. Or but it looks like it has some Paladins aspects to it, because it looked like
a castle attack.
Yeah, and it looked like the cart comes up and blows down the door when it gets there, which is what Paladins did. So that's kind of cool.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, a new map, I feel like is definitely a necessity at this point. I mean, we haven't really had anything crazy recently. I like the kind of theme of it. You know, Blizzard has the resources in order to go nuts with, you know, having different themes for each map and be very heavy with it. You know, you mentioned Paladins. It does have a little bit of that feel and look to it. But at the same time, you know, Blizzard's very good at polishing it and kind of creating its own. So I'm looking forward to it, especially with the kind of the cart. And maybe they're changing things up. We talked a little bit last week about like different game modes and stuff like that as possibilities in the future. And maybe this is one. Maybe we're going to see something different with, like, you know, Paladins. For those not familiar, you have a cart that you earn. You kind of defend a point or attack it. You get the cart, and then you escort it to the other person's base. And there's multiple gates, and you have to knock down the gates. So that's kind of what Brent's talking about when he refers to knocking down gates similar to Paladins.
And you kind of see the difference in, I don't know, like you said, Blizzard's really good at like their art style and their direction, and you see like their cannon fits the atmosphere. It comes up and it's like a, you know, it comes up and punches the door instead of like a big cannon shooting a laser at the door, which wouldn't really make sense with the surroundings so much.
Yeah, it definitely fits the theme of the map. You know, kind of your castle knights type of style, where it's not just something that would be on its own. You can tell it kind of looks like a battering ram. So it kind of fits that age, which Blizzard does a phenomenal job of doing that and kind of connecting everything together.
There's two things I liked about the map. If you pay attention while it's moving around, you can see all these broken down and dead bastions sitting everywhere.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
The entire map. And at the very end, you see Reinhardt's dad or uncle or something sitting on a huge throne. Is he an end boss? Maybe.
Oh, that'd be kind of interesting.
You got to kill him, or you know.
Well,
I don't know.
It was like the story behind the map was, or at least my understanding of it is that it was during the Omnic War, like in Germany, the Omnics against Germany, and so I guess what we're playing now is the leftovers from that.
The aftermath.
Aftermath, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is why there's a whole bunch of dead bastions laying all over the place.
Yeah, and I think it's leading up to the Bastion video that we're getting, tomorrow? Next day?
Yes, tomorrow. 1800 whatever European time or something. It's happening at Gamescom, so whatever their time stuff is.
Yeah, so I think it kind of all ties together there.
And so that'll be fun to watch, yes. Also, what's this about Zarya getting added to Heroes of the Storm?
Yeah, she's going to be the new hero. I'm pretty excited about that. And she seems to play exactly the way she does in Overwatch. She's got pretty much the same abilities. She's got her shield. She can project her shield. Now, I don't know how familiar any of you are with Heroes of the Storm, but when it comes to your ultimate ability, you have a choice of two. So she's got her normal black hole that will pull everybody together, but then if she chooses, she could have one that does the opposite effect. So it'll push everybody away, and if somebody tries to walk in, it'll just back them up and push them away, which has a lot of uses I can think of for that game. Like there's objectives that you have to capture. Like there's one where you have to capture a tribute, And if she put that over the thing, and it takes a few seconds, you just go up and click on it, and then it takes a few seconds to activate, and she could put on that and keep the other team away. It seems, if you can use it effectively, it seems like it'd be really great. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Imagine that in Overwatch.
Yeah,
trying to capture a point and throwing it down on the edge of the point where people are coming in and they just get pushed back.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Did Tracer? Now I'm not a Heart of the Heroes of the Storm fan, but did Tracer convert over the same? Very similar.
Yeah. It
Okay.
was actually weird because she was in that before Overwatch came out.
Mm-hmm.
So for many people, their first experience with Tracer was in Heroes of the Storm, and I hated her there, and I hate her here. I hate her everywhere.
So I wonder if we'll see more characters transfer the other way, since with MOBAs kind of having that same amount of abilities and stuff. It's almost just like getting the artwork. And
I don't think we will. The whole thing with Heroes of the Storm is it doesn't have any original heroes. Everybody is taken from Blizzard's other games.
That's true.
So I don't
they'll
think
just suck him in and not spit him out.
I don't think they'll even try to create original heroes because it just seems like it's like
they don't need to.
it's like a collaboration with all of their other partnered games, and it works out well. I mean, that's the reason people play it. So I think it'll work out nice. It's just kind of cool though that they're kind of porting more over from Overwatch.
Yeah, I mean, they all of a sudden have this huge new pool of heroes to pull from, so why not?
Yeah.
And Season 2. That's the other big announcement change they've talked about. Had a basically a dev video talking about it. What did everybody think? What's your favorite part?
I'm very excited about it overall.
Yeah.
Like I think I've talked about how I feel about competitive in the past, and I haven't really been a fan, but I think that I'm going to get more into it after these changes come about, particularly the rating system, where it currently goes 1 to 100. It's going to go 1 to 5,000. And a big part of that is because a lot of people, myself included, were getting very frustrated with only moving like a portion of a rank. So I was level 47, won a game, went up an inch. Like, it didn't even change numbers. So this way you're going to see like actual movement on your rank when you win and when you lose.
Yeah, the nice thing will be too is they're introducing very similar. It reminds me of StarCraft 2, and that's kind of was my introduction into everything with their bronze through Grandmaster system they're putting into place. So you'll be a gold. You'll be part of gold, and it'll be easily identifiable. You'll know that, okay, gold, it's 2,000 to 24.99. So it's very defined. Whereas before you just kind of saw that bar go up and you're like, okay, great. I'm almost there. It was kind of percentage based, but now it's actually clearly defined. And I agree with Freckles there. Like, the nice thing will be is each time you go up, it'll be, multiple points or decreasing in multiple points. So there'll be a decent amount of fluctuation instead of just like, you're a quarter of the way through 41. We'll see at 42 in like 5 matches. Good luck winning them. So this will be nice. I think it's interesting that they're adding in, the fact that your rank can degrade for Grandmaster and Master. Not to say that I was up there in any way, but it's kind of interesting that it'll keep the pros or high competitive players playing the game. That if you don't play for a week, it'll start to degrade 50 points at a time. So there's some value there. In a lot of other systems, like when StarCraft 2 first came out, players would get Grandmaster day 1 and then they wouldn't play for like a month or 2 and they'd still be Grandmaster then. So this will help to kind of keep that fresh, to keep people from sitting up there. So yeah, it looks like a lot of fun from everything I'm seeing thus far. I mean, I'm a huge player of ranked, and this is right up my alley, and so I'm excited for it.
The thing, go on.
Sorry. I was going to say the other side of how he was mentioning your rank is going to degrade if you go dormant. For all but the top 2 tiers, which are Grandmaster and Master, you won't sink beneath the
Yeah, you can't fall into the lower.
You can't fall into the lower category once you've hit a higher category. So it goes bronze, gold, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond. So if I'm in gold and then I make it to platinum, I'll never fall back into gold.
Yeah.
The only ones you can fall back out of are the top 2, Master and Grandmaster.
Which is really nice because the current system that we had in place, I always felt like I'd make progress one night and then the next night like lose it all. So like you never felt like you were kind of chipping away and slowly getting up there. It was always just like this, 3 to 4 level difference that you kind of sat in after your placement.
Like I would win a game and I'd go up like a and then I'd lose a game and then it's like, ooh.
Yeah, did you hate that noise? You're like, oh.
There.
Well, and with such a small number to play with there, it's like the placement matches. It felt like you kind of stayed around where you placed.
Yep.
And it felt hard to like get out of that. And I don't know, to me it's like once you're kind of in that zone, it's kind of like, because it's a team sport and it's like you can kick ass every single game, that doesn't mean you're going to move up.
Yeah.
You're probably going to have half the time shitty players with you and half the time good players with you. So half the time you're going to get positive. I don't know. I wish that's one thing I wish they would kind of figure out, is crack this nut of figuring out, how well you personally did and give you
individual
bonus
rating.
points for not just for kills, but for, they're pretty smart.
Yeah.
Folks, they can figure that out.
That makes sense.
I think. Go on.
Go on. No, I'm kind of moving past it. So.
I think with the 1 through 5,000 as opposed to 1 through 100, I have a feeling that matchmaking is going to be a lot more on point.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could have you could have 2 people both level 50, and they're pretty vastly different because the levels are more widely encompassing. Where if you have 6 people that are all level 2,542, you're all going to pretty much be right on the same, and if you have the other team is right there too, you're pretty well matched skill wise, and I think it'll maybe give a little more balance to it.
Yeah, I know in their other games for their like MMR or their rank system, they did have a larger pool, like 5,000 or more, to allow for more individual ranks, more of like 1,020 or 1,021. Like there's so many more levels available. So the skill was a little bit more refined, kind of very similar to what you're saying. And exactly with the point where like a 50 player could be very different from another 50 player, but having, a 1,020 and a 1,025 or 1,026, there's a difference there. So I think this will be good. I think they want to make sure that their ranked gameplay is not something that people are turned off about. It's very easy in a lot of games where like ranked is like you either play ranked or you play casual, and there's a fine definition. I think they're trying to bridge that gap and make ranked more enjoyable for people and not such like a burden for like what number you are and what level you are.
And I think they're making good strides in that direction, because I was not interested at all in competitive, and then I heard of these changes, and I'm really excited about them.
Yep, I agree.
I like that they're moving away from, hey, I've got this number and this number represents what I am, as opposed to with the tiers, you're like, I'm a gold player.
Right.
I'm a silver player.
And that's
exactly
what they're trying to is get people not hung up on their exact
rather than going, I'm 1247, they'll be like, I'm a silver player. That's the rank that I'm in, or the tier that I'm in.
So Brent, you pushing for master? Is that what you're gonna be pushing for next season, master?
No. Not at all. I don't remember what I was on this one. Can't remember.
No,
44? Does that sound right? Was it 24 or 44? Can't remember.
Probably 44.
Probably 44, yeah. That sounds right.
But another big change there that's coming in season 2 is in competitive is what happens when there's a tie. There basically won't be any ties unless you don't capture the first points.
No, there can be ties.
No, there weren't any ties before.
There weren't before, but now there can be. They said it's going to be very rare, but they're getting rid of overtime.
Yeah.
Right, but you can only tie if you don't cap the first map. They're going to take into consideration the time. So that's the only time you can actually tie.
They made a lot of changes with the timing and the time added and the time bonuses and that sort of thing. And honestly, it was too much for me to remember all of. But I urge everybody to watch the video because there's some really great changes.
And that's exactly why I wish they wouldn't do that, because they're doing this thing where you get bonus time if you just capture the map right before, or capture the first point, like right before your time runs out. I'm like, why are you making it confusing? Just make it the first team goes. Whatever time they captured everything in, that's what the other team has to try to get it under. And if they don't, they lose or they win.
Time bonus to the other team as well to keep it fair. But their idea is if you're...
it's like they're trying to get these like great matches where at the end it's like you get a comeback, and
they're trying to reward you for pulling together and pulling it off and making a big comeback, and they
but
want to.
you're just screwing the other team. Like the other team did their job the first time.
I prefer this way miles above overtime.
I don't want overtime at all. I'm saying they don't need overtime. But they don't need this artificial like, hey, we're going to give you 30 seconds to try to get the second point.
So you're saying just make it cut and dry, you win or you lose, and that's it.
Yes.
I can understand that.
This reminds me of like when I played soccer, and I don't know if anybody played soccer when they were kids, but when you're a kid, like they don't actually stop the game in an hour. Mm-hmm. They kind of have this. They'll kind of let it go if it looks like the team who's losing is going to score or whatever. And we actually lost a tournament because of this, because they'll lose track of time for one thing. But it's like they do this artificial thing where it's like, well, we want the game to be like competitive and be like exciting. And it's like, well, but you're just screwing the team that did their job, for the ruled. Anyway.
Yeah, my soccer experience wasn't like that.
It's a Southern thing, maybe.
There's some built-up hatred that Brent still has.
It does. Man, I quit soccer the next year. It was bad. It was our tournament. It was... Anyway. I'll never get over that.
Thank you for sharing, Brent. Thank you for sharing.
I try to share whenever possible. Any other Season 2 changes in competitive we didn't talk about? Or just Season 2 at all? They are changing the points you get.
Yep.
You'll get more points, but also the golden weapons will cost more. 10 more points?
Mm-hmm. 10 more.
Everything's being multiplied by 10.
I feel like he said we're going to discuss this later in the video and then never discussed it later in the video. Is that true?
He said they were just going to be 10 more.
Yeah.
So instead of 300, they're 310. And I think I got 50, so now I'm up to like 60. Woohoo!
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, they are making a handful of changes to the hero balances. Some of them that stuck out to me, one of them was like Hanzo. It seems like they're trying to make Hanzo a little bit more playable for the meta, per se, which kind of changing his projectile speed, which is kind of interesting. So once you fire that arrow, it's pretty much like on you. Like there isn't really an opportunity to get out of it. So it looks like they're making a few other hero changes as well. That'll be pretty decent. Nothing that was like dramatic that's like, oh my gosh, this is going to break the game. But there's some good ones. I like that they added a lot of developer comments in there on the patch notes to just kind of say, here's why we did it. Here's what we're thinking. Just so you kind of know what their mindset is instead of just giving us a stat change. It's like, well, here's where the problem was. Here's where we're trying to fix it. So that does look really good.
Okay, so if you want to play, it's on the PTR, I believe. So go try it out and tell us what you think about it. Choke Point Pod on Twitter. Yep. Also, who put in this last one about the high bandwidth? You want to talk about that?
So earlier this week, before all the news on the Season 2, they put out an announcement saying that they're increasing the number of updates that get sent from the client and from the server back and forth so that you will have less of an opportunity to get Roadhog hooked around a corner because the updates are being sent more than twice as fast. It used to be 21 updates per second, and now it's up to 63 updates per second, and it's being rolled out to all the servers that they have.
This will probably also help when there's those times when you're like, I was on the point. Like, I just got on the point. Why did they win? And so it'll help with that, too, I'm sure. So that's awesome.
It'll have a faster reaction time is basically what it works out to.
Okay, great. That's the news. How'd it go?
Torbjorns Workshop.
So, ideas for the game. You can send us your ideas. Just tweet us, Choke Point Pod, hashtag it, Torbjorns Workshop, or something similar. And if we don't read it on the next show, that means we didn't find it, so you spelled Torbjorn wrong. But just tweet it at us.
Or you can use Toblerone. We'll accept that.
That'll work too. Just hashtag it at us. And Octane, what you got for us? What's your idea?
So this is something that I really liked out of Smite. I thought they did a really good job with it, and I'd love to see them implement something similar in Overwatch, which is a draft mode. Something, granted, I know it's a little bit different with Overwatch just because you have the ability to change your character at any given time. but almost like a draft mode for bans, I think would be pretty cool. Having the ability to ban out certain characters, I think would be a really a cool idea to do. So I'd love to see something like that added in to the game, as if you could do bans.
Oh no, you're just trying to get me to talk about bans.
That's
Don't
right.
do it. I'm banning Hanzo.
Yeah, that's right. There you go.
Oh, how about you, RP?
I noticed that some of the stuff that I asked for way back when was adding more stuff. Emotes and everything have been showing up on the PTR. There was a really funny one with Diva that everybody should check out.
I believe 2 emotes each, a laugh and a sit. Is that right?
Yay.
So that'll be interesting to see, and you'll want to beat people as they're doing it when you're like, get on the cart, quit laughing, quit sitting. Get on the cart.
I almost never emote like actually in game. Usually I just do it in spawn. But whenever I see Bitburner do it in game, I know he just killed a lot of people. That's when he'll do it. When he's pretty sure he got play of the game is when he'll do it. And more often than not, he does. But
yeah, I love seeing
if I ever
Biddy's
do it
play
in
of the
game,
games.
it's probably an accident.
You know he's been playing these types of games for a long time. When every play of the game he has, he does an emote and or either a spray like right after he kills 5 people. It's like every time you kill a bunch of people, you do this. I don't like. Is there a key? Like I have to do the wheel thing where it comes up, and is there like a quick auto key to do?
You can
your
set
taunt?
your numbers. Is what I do. Is I set my numbers to different.
I know
emotes.
that
I think he
X
has
is
it
for
set to
health
right click.
and C is for your ultimate status. I don't know what the others are.
Yeah, I think Biddy just has it set to right click and.
I think so. I think you're probably right. I don't know how to kill
Instead
everybody.
of all fire.
Yeah. How about you, Freckles? What you got for us?
I would like some sort of mechanic to. I don't want to sound
Fix
like
your
a
car.
jerk, but I want some way to like vote kick people out of my team. And I know when I play quick play, I'm probably getting too uppity about things. But twice this week, I've had just trolls, griefers on my team, and both times it was a pair. It was a pair of 2 people that were in a group, and they were doing nothing. The first time they were both Torbjorns, and they built in our spawn, and they did nothing to help the team. And the other time, I don't remember what they were, but they weren't helping. They weren't even near the objective. They weren't doing anything helpful. And I know that you can report people, and you can only do that if somebody says something like really offensive in chat. And I'm a difficult person to offend,
Right.
but there are a couple words that if you use those in the group chat, I'm gonna have to say something
Like Bastion.
like Bastion.
Immediately.
Bracer.
So, and they have that in Smite, right? You can
They have it in a
vote
lot of
someone
games,
out
but-
and
that's all you can
have
do
a
is report
reason
them, and
why.
that's not, you don't get instant. It's just like, oh, your report has been received. There's no like, okay, now I can get somebody helpful on my team unless I leave. But
Yeah.
I feel like I should have to do that.
That would infuriate me in a ranked match too, because I'm like in try hard mode, and then all of a sudden you got some person like messing around who doesn't really care about their rank, and I think there's a huge value there. That would be great. I mean, you have to make sure it's not being abused, but at the same time, like I think there's a huge value there. The hard part is like you put in a vote system, and I've seen vote systems where like all players would, so 5 players would have to vote yes to boot that person. The downside is like one of their buddies is in there, it just never goes through, and then it becomes a huge problem. So like I'd love to see where like majority vote actually does it, because there's some games where like that's not the case, and it really frustrates me when that's not implemented properly.
And I'm sure they'd put something in that in competitive before they'd put it in quick play, because
Yeah.
like a lot of people like to say, oh, it's just quick play, but I still like to win, right?
Yeah, right. No, exactly. That's a good one.
like it. It's all good. I'd like him to get rid of the bonus time in competitive mode in season 2. That's
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll stop.
Now,
with that.
do you like the coin flip or no?
No. I mean, to me, it's like one of those things where it's just like, well, we're gonna, we're not gonna win this one. I mean, at the end when you have 30 seconds to push that point, it's just like. But if you get the coin flip and you're the one on, the game competitive should not be left up to a coin flip, except for who starts it.
That's a good point.
What
That
end
is
of
very true.
field? And that's kind of, I don't know. I won't get back on the other part. You know how I feel. That's how it
I do.
feels.
I feel like as soon as you put something up to chance, you remove a big part of the competitive aspect. Once anything is left up to chance, it's less competitive. It's just luck.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that.
One good thing I love about Overwatch that a lot of, especially MOBAs and other games do wrong, in my opinion, is they just keep increasing the death penalty, like as the game goes. And, when you get up to like a minute death penalty, it's just like, okay, it's one fight decides the game. It's like, well, why didn't we just start with this? And whoever wins the first fight wins.
You must be talking about Smite, right? You must be talking about Smite.
Pretty much every MOBA kind of does that, right? So
Heroes is like that too,
Yeah,
and
that's
painful.
painful.
It forces you to take it a little more seriously toward the end, and don't just jump in there and do something you know is going to get you killed, because then you're out for a full minute, and that's huge.
I wonder if we might see some MOBAs kind of come out and be like the shorter version of MOBAs now, because that's kind of what I love about Overwatch. It's like you've got your 10-minute game. You don't have to worry about sinking 30 minutes into a game usually.
Well, do you play Heroes of the Storm? Have you ever played?
Yeah, I've played.
It's like a light version
while.
of like League of Legends. It's way shorter. The games are like
they're quick.
15 minutes ish, right? Like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
They're real short compared to a lot of is my understanding. I've never played any other MOBAs, but it's not like this huge commitment when you just want to jump into a game.
Right.
We should play.
And I should play again. It's now, if I'm going to play MOBA though, I do hop back into Smite, or I try to see what Paladins is doing.
Blasphemy.
So, but if we change this into like all Blizzard games, then you all have to start playing World of Warcraft too, and then
hey, I am signed up for it. I purchased Legion, and I haven't touched it in the last like 3 weeks.
That's an MMO, right?
Yeah,
I did that for 3 years. I'm not going back.
Oh well, I haven't played World of Warcraft for several years, and some friends kind of coaxed me back into it. So we'll see what happens. Only in the last like 2 months have I been coaxed back into it. So.
Well, and if anybody's looking for a MOBA to get into, Camelot Unchained is working towards actually being released, and we're going to have a trust guild in that. So it's kind of family and friends small guild. But y'all are family and friends. So let's see. We also got a message from JBJ Blaze in the chat. He says, the player got mad at me and Lucio Ball, when I was expressing that an opposing player was abusing the non-Lucio hero glitch by dealing damage to my team players and should cut it out. Fortunately, I think I mentioned this before, but I did convince one opponent player to leave who experienced the bug himself. So that's one way.
Somebody on the opposite team was glitching,
yeah.
And he got mad, and somebody got mad at him for getting mad at the person for glitching.
That's what it sounds like, right?
Those typical trolls.
So that is kind of a point there. I don't know if he's actually making it, but you can just kind of leave the games at any time. So can you just kind of take it upon yourself, where you're like, these are a bunch of douchebags, let's just leave and go to another game?
I mean, you can, but the downside is in ranked and you're penalized for it.
Oh, right.
So, like,
that's right.
You know what I mean? So, like, you can leave, but have you solved anything except for, fueled the trolls? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the downside there. So
and taking a penalty on yourself for somebody else being
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
ranked is not the place to do it, but in regular mode.
And Lucio Ball, nobody cares.
That's right. It's going away eventually.
Has anybody played that this week?
I haven't touched it this week.
I did not play it this week. Well, no.
Do you think they're having a problem getting people to play it, or is it the same 6 people playing it?
Probably people. I mean, I thought it was fun, but after like the first 2 days, I was like, I don't need this anymore. But then again, I'm not big on any of the brawls.
Yeah.
I play them once or twice. Once usually.
I love some, like when they did Random Brawl, where it was just random every day.
Yeah, that was kind of fun.
Like I love that sort of stuff. So I don't know. It might be cool if they went to something like Smite does, and I'm going to be bringing Smite up a lot, folks. Just how life is.
He's wearing the hat. Come on now.
That's true. Yeah. But have the mode change, on a daily basis. Like once you get all these, because a week long of one mode is a little much.
And it's even longer now for Lucio Ball because it's been
during the Olympics. Yep, that makes sense. That's true.
I think it'd be cool if there was some sort of reward for playing the brawl. Like each brawl had its own like spray or player icon, so you could say, "Oh, I played this one," or something. Just some sort of incentive, I think, would maybe bring more people into playing it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they care enough about it to do anything like that. if they did want to drum up more people playing it, that might be a good way to do so.
Well, let's move on.
Well.
Winston's Laboratory.
So, who's got a tip for me? RP, you got a tip? Just give me the tip.
Just from
Make
playing
it as dirty as possible.
just the tip. Just from playing Genji this week, you have to keep moving as Genji. You can't like run around on the ground and do like shooting and stuff. You have to be jumping off of walls and jumping everywhere. Have to keep moving as Genji.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that applies definitely with his like double jump ability. Like that's the big one is you have to be bouncing off the walls and moving around, and it's Genji players I feel like are a different breed of players. It's just a different speed. It's very similar to Tracer, but the fact that like you're all over the place. You're off this wall, you're off this wall, and you know they're very difficult to hit Genji if you're playing against a good Genji. In reality, Genji really should not hit the floor unless he's really using his ultimate. So that's a good tip.
It's like the freaking scout.
Yeah.
Remember the freaking scout from TF2? Anyway.
Yep.
Speaking of TF2, Frex.
What?
I don't know. You play TF2 a lot.
Okay. Yeah. So my my tip is to listen to the audio cues that the game automatically gives you, and these come from other players, both on your team and on the other team, and it's probably something that everybody's listened to and used at least once, with maybe probably without even knowing. But some of the ones that have benefited me the most are if somebody's shooting you from behind and you're like, where am I getting shot from? One of your teammates will call out behind you, or check your six, or look out behind you, or something.
And they're not calling it out to the general
They're
group.
not. They're calling it out to you. So if you hear it, turn around because you're getting shot in the ass.
That's really good point, because I always like, oh, someone's getting shoot from behind, like, you know what I mean? Like, it just because when you're in that mode, like, you almost want to hear, Brent, you're getting shot from behind, and not just.
That if you hear it, heed it.
That's great.
And they're not prompted by the players. They're automatically built into the game. So no one's trolling you. No one's fucking with you. Somebody's shooting you in the back. If you hear there's a teleporter, they have a teleporter.
That's a big one.
And the thing is, you don't have to actually encounter it. Like, I have heard my hero say they've got a teleporter, and I'm like, I didn't see a teleporter. You don't have to encounter it for your hero to alert your team. And it can come in a lot in handy.
With the teleporter, if your character says, I see the teleporter, it was somewhere on your screen, whether you actually
noticed it or not. Yeah. So I didn't have to trigger anything to tell my team.
But do tell your team where you were, like, when you hear it. Because that's the one thing that frustrates me so much when I hear someone else say it, and I'm like, well, where the hell were you?
Yeah.
Because that's so important to get that teleporter down.
Yeah. But they'll do it with turrets. They'll do it when the turret is down. Like, they'll say, oh, the enemy turret isn't going to bother us anymore.
Yeah.
All sorts of things. I'm on the objective. That's another huge one. If one of your teammates is on the point, they'll say, no, the point's mine now. Anybody want some? Or whatever. I'm probably saying a lot of Junkrat things because I play the most. But if you hear somebody say, oh, I'm on the objective, or I'm on the point, I'm pushing the cart, then they really are. And you can go and should go help them.
And that cue is telling you that there's no enemies on the point either. If they're saying, hey, the point's all mine, they're alone.
Great.
As far as
get there. Yeah.
So go and help.
Keep it, and cans help. I've noticed that when I play with these as opposed to my stupid little mono price, it's a big difference. And you can tell directionally even.
Those are high quality. Big in demand, those headphones.
I want them just because of the cat ears.
That's right.
Yeah, these ones are great. I love these.
Yeah.
And you get in different colors too, right? Okay, so Octane.
This is one just playing tonight. I thought of a good idea where I noticed myself doing it, and it definitely separates a good tank from just someone who's queuing for it. Is with Reinhart, it's very difficult to differentiate, and you need to catch yourself in playing passively and protecting your team and then just being aggressively and going balls to the walls, trying to push the other enemy away. And, you kind of have your good and your bad Reinhardts. And I think the more you play Reinhardt, the more you understand when the opportunity is to charge, to, take out a healer. Those are the big ones. It's very easy for you just to go ahead and use your charge, but you got to remember, when you're using your charge, are you leaving your team vulnerable? So my recommendation for people is to play as passively as you can with Reinhardt, protecting your team, staying back with the cart, pushing the cart. And if you're going to use your charge, you have to make sure you use it at the best moment possible, like going after a healer and charging a healer, because that's what's going to make the most impact. Especially if you use your charge and you overextend, you're probably going to die. So was it worth it? Did you take out their healer? Did you take out another tank? And so those are some of the questions you need to ask when you're playing Reinhardt.
And can you get behind them and push them back towards your own team? That's
Sure.
so much fun. Can you take them off the ledge?
Are you going to go off a cliff? I've seen Reinhardts do this.
Yeah.
Charge somebody not realizing that railing is going to give away, or there's no thing there. You're going to go, off the cliff in Route 66.
Oh, that's not an accident. It's so much fun. It's like, how many people can I get off the cliff?
And I'm sure sometimes it's worth it, but
in competitive, yeah. Don't do that in competitive.
Brent is an excellent Reinhardt.
Yes.
I get to like balls to the wall a lot of the time, because if I'm not doing competitive, I will get silly sometimes and just like.
And if you have a Reinhardt on your team, please keep in mind that, he can keep his shield up and it'll block anything, but while he's doing that, he is dealing out 0 damage.
Yeah, you need to be dishing out the damage.
You can't just have a Mercy and a Reinhardt go up and expect them to get anywhere. They're not going to get anywhere. They're not going to be able to kill anybody. They're just going to be able to stand there all day. So get behind him, take advantage of his shield, and fire down range while he's got that thing up.
And when you see his shield cracking, realize it's going down. He has to bring it down to charge up at some point.
And he'll say so.
Don't be pissed.
He'll say so. Barrier's going down is what he'll say when it's dying.
But like when I play, like I'll usually drop it when it's down halfway, because I don't want it to get to that point where it's gone when I need it.
Yeah, it's good to have it available in a pinch. Like all of a sudden I need it, and
this is like the Reinhardt episode.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and don't stick it around a corner, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're not blocking people, don't just stick it out there to let them shoot it for no reason.
Yeah.
Charge it up, and it will let people know where you are, because it will go through the wall, and they'll be like, he's hiding in that corner in that building, and the shield sticking out through the wall. I wonder where Reinhardt's at. I'm right here.
Yeah.
As it moves around.
Great tips. Like I'm glad ours further down. We'll have to get some more Reinhardt stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
To go along with well, I guess it doesn't go along with anything except for it's a tip. When you die, pay attention. Like, don't just stop and go get a water. You can actually find information. I mean, I've located, teleporters where a sentry is located, where they're going, you can give data to your team that's still alive to go kill stuff.
Do you have your kill cam on?
Yeah, when I watch people kill me?
Yeah.
I turned mine off because I found it taunting. But I have since found that I could probably, like you said, glean a lot of information from it.
Yeah.
Like I've been sniped and I'd be like, I didn't even see a sniper. When if I had kill cam on, I would have seen where they were.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking I might turn it back on, because that does seem like a valuable thing.
Yeah, it's like if you get killed by someone who came out of the teleporter, you're usually going to see where it is, even if it's a distance away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's frustrating to see like how you die. I completely understand that, and the validation there to be like, just turn it off. I just want to get in. I don't want to see that. I know I died, but at the same time, there's some value there. So that's a good one, Brent.
I've turned mine off so that I can see where my friendly players are and what they're doing.
And that's like I didn't even realize you could turn it off. So that's cool in itself. And so when you turn it off, it's kind of like when you're spectating.
Yeah, it just goes to a friendly.
A friendly.
Spectate.
Oh, you can switch if they die or something.
Through,
that sucks, because now I know people might be watching me while I'm playing.
That's right.
I don't want that.
Those skills.
Although it might be a good idea to leave it turned on, and then if you're in a situation where you just don't need to see that kill cam because you know exactly what happened, you can hit escape and it'll kill the kill cam, and you can then spectate.
I wish I
Ah,
could turn it off
sounds
for
good.
other people, like people that I kill. Like, don't let them see that because then they're going to know that I just got lucky and there's really no skill.
No, that's not the truth. So, next week, hero highlight, we're going to be doing Genji. We swear.
For real this time.
For
I get another week
Rizzles,
to try and master him.
or at least play him more than once. I don't even want to see what my time played for Genji is. It's probably an hour, if that. But we do have some links and videos we will put in the show notes. There's Overwatch headquarters from IGN, which is this an article about like
IGN
2?
does a really good job of when Overwatch goes ahead and makes changes. They do a few good videos on it. So there's a lot of really good pointers out there. You know, like how to stay in the top 500 if you're Grandmaster, Master. They also have a whole lengthy, detailed one on Sombra, stuff like that. So they keep up to date a lot with that content. So I found that Overwatch headquarters is a great place to get some of your Overwatch news.
Very cool. And also we'll link to the dev update video.
Watch it.
Season 2 of competitive.
Yeah.
It's always good information. And exciting news for a lot of my friends from Curse. Curse got bought out by Twitch. So
Yeah, saw that. I'm interested to see how they integrate that moving
Are we happy
forward.
about this? Or
they're
when
happy about it.
Microsoft bought Minecraft and
No, they're basically going to be, I believe, like, programming, and Curse Media is still going to be Curse Media, I think, for a little bit at least.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what happens. So, yeah. Awesome. Anything else before we take it out? No?
Nothing else
Take
for
it
this
out.
week.
No? Okay.
Take it out.
I can't find the damn button.
Hey, the end's in sight.
You are now at the end of another episode of Choke Point,
That's a star performance.
a podcast brought to you by largemarge.media. Go there for more information or leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/chokepoint. You can also follow us on Twitter at ChokePointPod.
Well done, my friend.